Ladies and gentlemen, it's the greatest YouTuber of all time. Nostalgia. Oh, yes. Bungo in the jungle. Well, that's alright by me. We're back with another one. Good morning. We're back with another one. Some Jethro Tull. Bungo in the jungle by me. Damn, I can't headbang anymore though. That sucks. It's just not the same, bro. It's not the same. Don't worry, it'll come back. It'll come back. Unlike all my other friends, I'm not like fucking bald. Anyway. We're back with another one, baby! And today I want to go back to the basics of just like straight trolling shit. And talking about the goofiness of the jungle of Pokemon. You know, I watched like a 30-second short the other day. And it's of, what the hell's his name? Twice Baked Jake. And it was just like a 30-second short. Maybe a lot of you guys seen it. It was just like, hey, welcome to the hobby. And, Greninja EX is popping. Don't get caught holding the bag, though. Now's the time to make a lot of money. But don't get caught holding that motherfucking bag, baby. Like, what? What the hell, man? Don't get caught holding that bag, baby. You know, like, dude, what the fuck? You know, that kind of shit does make me just be like, what the fuck, this hobby, bro? Like, buy those stained glass promos and fucking Greninja EX, but don't get caught holding the bag, buddy. You know, just make sure you're not the one stuck holding these shitty cards that nobody fucking really is gonna want. You know, I mean, I want to break it down. Like the stained glass promos, like as stupid as that is, of just people like turning like $20 into like 120. I kind of get that one. That's an older box. It's out of print. But these other two, they're like, yeah, they're pure. Just like you're gonna get stuck holding the bag on those. You know, I don't know if you're invested into fucking Greninja promos and you know, even the Crown Zenith promo has popped off a lot lately. See, that's still cheap. Or if you're buying it like raw, whatever. But if you're like paying these PSA 10 like $1,000 prices for Greninja, or even 500 or 400, you're probably gonna get cooked, man. Like, that's living life dangerously. But yeah, Twice Baked Jake, like, man, I should just like do a tier list of how like lame all the YouTubers are. I mean, like I started to watch it, and this is why I started making videos. Was like, I realized that they're all like just so annoying. Like, like honestly, speaking of, I haven't watched a Vapor video in so long. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched Vapor in a minute. I used to watch him all the time, and I don't know why I haven't watched him in a minute. I'm gonna have to go back to an OG Vapor video eventually. But Vapor. But yeah, so we got Vapor, which I don't know. Vapor's probably like the more decent out of all of them. But we got Twice Baked Jake. That's like, yeah, pretty clueless. He's always just like talking about shit's gonna crash. You know, like I think he was saying the Charizard UPC was gonna crash when it was at like 200 or something. I don't know. He said some goofy shit like that. So we got Twice Baked Jakey. We got a possum bud, he just bitches and complains all the time. You know, like, evolving skies, it's gonna crash. It's too high. You know, and it's like, yeah, just, I think he said evolving skies is too expensive at like $1,200 and everyone's gonna get cooked. It's like, well, I don't know. Anymore, his channel, all he does is bitch and complain, which, I mean, hey, I get it. We bitch and complain on this channel too, but like, there is just like no investing advice from that guy. It's just like pure bitching and complaining. I have to laugh at this Pokemon Joey did a video. He's like, "Hey mom," he's like, we finally made it. We're on a Possum Buds channel." Oh boy. You know, like, when the fuck did that guy become the voice of Pokemon? Just give me Jason Page. We're gonna start shit with everybody today. Fuck it. Jason Page, dude, another guy. What a fucking grifter. Like, Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend. You know, hey, make a bank off a song is great, but like, damn, you can tell that guy is struggling now. Hold on, wait, we're gonna bring him up here. But yeah, so we got Jason Page. He's a goofball. Thank God he doesn't make YouTube videos. Oh God, I can only imagine. We have some new YouTubers sprouting up here and there that are kind of shit. Let's see. Oh God, is that Frosted Caribou? That's an even shittier YouTuber. Anyway, so we got that. We got the female opossum bud, which she's always bitching, telling you to buy these like weird ass fucking $5 carts. If you buy this cart nobody wants for $5, someday the world's gonna turn around and decide they want fucking shitty ass Greninja promos or something. I don't know. Like, but yeah, she's always telling you to buy something goofy, and it's just like, no, things are expensive that are expensive because they're good. Not buying fucking $3 cards. Anyway, those are just never like that great of an investment. Sometimes, but not very often. But your best bet on like $3 cards, and I want to explain this, you'll end up like fucking with like thousands of just cards that you bought for $3 to $5. And even when they do run up to like $15, just no one wants to fucking buy them anyway. So you're just stuck sitting on them. They're just dead ass money. So that's something I've learned about buying cheap cars, is it usually doesn't end that well. You know, because even like the promo from Crown Zenith, so I want to like school you guys a little bit. The Crown Zenith promo, the Lucario, cool looking card. If you bought it at like $1, good job. But even when it hits like, what's that, like $10 now? Even when it hits $10, it's like, who's gonna buy it though? You know? I mean, I guess you could hope someone buys it at a card show, but it's the same thing with the Mew from 151. It's like, it's a beautiful card. I mean, that's a little more liquid, but it's just like, even like now that it's went up, like I have some of them, and it's like selling them's like not the easiest thing in the world. The liquidity's not like super there. Even though it's a little bit more there and understandable than the other, some of the real cheaper cards, but still, it's just risky. What else do we got for shitty YouTubers? Leon Hart. Don't get me started on Leon Hart. Fuck Leon Hart. You know, but yeah, it's just like all these fucking YouTubers are just anymore. They're just all fucking shit, man. Like, I can't even stand most of the Pokemon YouTubers. I'll give Mimic Brew credit. Like, I actually like some of his shit. Some of his takes are pretty good. Like I would say, like the S tier YouTubers are like me, obviously. TCA Gaming, Rudy. I mean, obviously Rudy's like the fucking king. Let's see. So we got Rudy. We have Pokemon Joey. Like I said, I gotta throw Pokemon Joey in there too, because I mean, he is a respected YouTuber. And yeah, I know I'm leaving a couple out. Like, Pokebeard, I like him here and there. You know, like if there's a guy I can party with, it'd probably be Pokebeard. But But that's really like it. The rest of them I just consider like shock YouTubers or just like ramblers, you know? And that's pretty much my tier list of like, if you want advice from channels, those are the people to listen to, you know, that I consider pretty much the professionals in the field, you know. But, yeah, there's a lot of other people out there that have gotten quite a following that are just like, ugh, I can't stand to watch their shit. Half it's so boring. Anyway, let's celebrate to some Jason Page, baby. Come on! Train them is my guns. He's like balding in this one. Far and wide. The power that's inside. Anyway. You know, but I want to explain something with the Pokemon market of like people that think maybe this hobby's going to die eventually. I think they're completely wrong, you know, because when we look at it, man, like everything in this world sucks. You know, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, what else do we all just kind of like watch all the time? You know, Pokemon stonks, bro. Like, it's the only fucking interesting thing left in the world that has like some magic to it. It's just seeing what the fuck Pokemon stuff does. You know, it's just like that's the only fun thing sort of left. Well, like that, you know, like if someone told me when I was being born, they're like, well, you're fucking the funnest things you can do in life as a man are fucking, getting high, and Pokemon, I would just say, just send me back, bro. Just send me back, you know? But essentially, those are about the only fun things anymore. That, you know, like, I don't know if it's just like Pokemon has captured, like, all of us just being fucking losers, you know? Or what it is, but it really has captured, like, a giant crowd of people, mostly men, but it's just like, yeah, like we're all in it, man. You know, I know so many fucking dudes that it's like that, you know, this is their thing, you know. And I mean, chicks out there too that are mega into it, but it's just like it's became this ever-consuming hobby. And I do want to explain something, though, for a lot of people out there that maybe you want to get into this hobby or you're first getting into it. Just, like, really honestly, just don't. Like, you know, as crazy as this sounds, like, there are easy bags to be had in Pokemon. Don't get me wrong. And there are tons of great investments. But honestly, like looking back at it now, you watch stuff go up all the time, and that's great. And you know, like you're gonna do well in Pokemon, but at the same time, you just end up with a shitload of stuff. Like if you don't like sell it like right when it goes up, you're always gonna tell yourself like, I'm gonna hold it. I'm just I'm not gonna sell it, you know. And then if you do like in the miracle like sell it, I mean people definitely will buy it. Like liquidity's not a thing, but if you're ever just like you know, but you're always literally like I'm never gonna sell it, man, you know. And I've realized that because I was like, well, I sold Evolving Skies at 600. Then when it hit 12, like I bought it back at 50-ish, and then it hit 1200, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sell it. Hit 2K, and I'm like, I'm not gonna sell it. And you know, you just tell yourself the entire time like, I'm not gonna sell it, bro. So half the time, you can convince yourself you're never gonna sell it. And it's the same thing with the Gengar VMAX, like from Fusion Strike. I was like, like went from like 500 to like 1,300, so I'm not gonna sell it. You know, and then you keep buying more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And it's like if you have the money, this really isn't a problem. But a lot of people are buying and they really don't have the money, you know. And this is where you can end up in trouble. Like you got to be careful. You don't want to buy more than you can afford, but you know, you can end up pretty fucking deep. Like I have a good friend. Um, they're not like loaded, but they have some money. But they have like 3 Gengar V Maxes now, which I mean is cool. But it's just like you get so bullish in certain cards, and then it's just like, oh, well, this is going up, so let me get some of this real quick, and you end up having like what I have going on, where it's just like a giant fucking pile of Pokemon, and like yeah, it's doing great, but I kind of get annoyed with it sometimes. Where I'm like, man, this is just so much shit, you know. But you always convince yourself to buy something, and you rarely ever convince yourself to sell. Because that one fucking time you do sell, that's when it goes up a lot. So it's just like Pokemon has really done a good job of just wrapping people up in it, of being just heavily invested. Because you're always going to find some product that's undervalued. And they just end up like accumulating in your collection, Like I don't even like Obsidian Flames, and it's still in my collection, Like it still found its way to me, and it's just wild how it works out. You end up with like so much shit that you have money in, and yeah, it's very, very hard to decide to sell because you just don't want to lose your positions, and it can just be a fucking mess of like, especially if you're a real big singles guy, like you think a single's gonna go up, and like the longer you're in this hobby, the more bullish you get on certain things where you're just like, you know what? Give me like 300 fucking Crown Zenith Lucario promos, and you just got them sitting around, or like give me 40 Lance's Celebrations boxes, and I'm not saying you can get cooked that way, because that essentially is how you make money, is like picking something you believe in, it goes up in value, and you do well. But, yeah, you just end up with, like, especially with singles, you end up with a fucking couple $1,000s in singles really fucking fast. And that's just buying cheap cards. And you got to be careful with that, because, like, singles aren't as liquid, but some are still really undervalued. Like I said, like the Lugia and stuff like that, extremely undervalued in my opinion. The Gengar, the Garatina, I mean, all these cards in my opinion are just way undervalued. And compared to what it costs to open it, like Fusion Strike, for example, to open up a case of Fusion is $5,000 now. And for the Gengar to only be like 1,300 in a 10, like that's a fucking bargain. The Lugia, I think it's like under $300. Silver Time is just the booster box is $300. Like some of these alt arts are just severely undervalued, and I don't know if that will change or not, where they will become just either extremely valuable or what. But they're definitely not worth chasing. opening packs, like at all. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, things are just interesting right now to see what happens next. But yeah, be careful that you don't like load up on like shitloads of like one certain product. But unless if it's just like chilling rain. But the more I think about it too, I want to do this analogy too. For most of you that think you're going to get rich on the hobby, but you really don't have the budget for it, you're probably not going to make a shitload of money. I mean, you have to invest, and this is with crypto or Pokemon. You have to be willing to invest like 10K at a clip. And if that sounds like it's too much for you, you probably shouldn't invest in a Pokemon. Well, I mean, unless you want to do it small time. But it's the same thing with crypto. It takes $10,000, and really it takes you closer to $30,000 to make you a millionaire. Let's go back. Let's go back to Evolving Skies 3 years ago. If you invested $50,000 in Evolving Skies, you have $1 million today. But if you only invested, let's say like, I don't know, let's say like 10K, you have a fraction of that. Which, I mean, you're still up tremendously, but, you only really have like 100,000. Which is good. Still a great investment. But this is why, you really kind of have to like either bet big on something you believe in or not at all, But like that's why like me and one friend was having this discussion that it's like the 50K rule. It's like you really should throw 50K into something that you believe in, or like because that's really the only way to be like a millionaire, and it's either like just take massive risks, or don't. But essentially you're not going to get rich off of a couple $1,000s. Like investing a couple $1,000s is not going to make you like a millionaire. Like you have to invest large sums of money and not really give a fuck, or you're just not going to do it. And that's why my collection's so big, is because it's just like whenever this stuff does explode to its full potential, I'm leveraged in with, tens of thousands of dollars in Pokemon to where it can just like explode. So it helps being heavily into something because, like let's face it, we're really all in this to wanting to be millionaires. You know what I mean? So you have to invest like a millionaire, or you're not going to become one, and be it real estate or Pokemon, if you don't take big risks, you just don't, make the big money to just like be able to retire. So yeah, you got to take big risks, man. And not like stupid big risks, but if you really believe in something, like chilling rain at $400, I feel like a box like that is really worth taking the gamble on, But, something like Surging Sparks, who the fuck knows? So, yeah. And that's just where things are. Wild world of Pokemon. And yeah, promos are pumping. Celebrations to the moon. And yeah, let's see how this train rides out. But yeah, it's looking like all the Sword and Shield era is just starting to explode. So I guess we'll see where everything goes. We'll be back to you guys with another video here soon. And that's all we have for this one. Wow, 25 minutes. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this one. We're out. Twice Baked Jake, baby.